If you're a Led Zeppelin fan, you probably already know that many legendary British rock stars have a negative opinion of Led Zeppelin. Examples include Pete Townsend, Keith Richards, Eric Clapton, and Ginger Baker, all of whom have said that they don't appreciate the band that much, that they don't feel the band was very successful. Well, in an interview with BBC Radio 2, Mick Jagger gave his opinion of Led Zeppelin, and it's a very interesting take on the band. So let's listen to what Mick Jagger had to say about Led Zeppelin. Here's Mick Jagger talking.
I used to produce records. I did this record Out of Time for Chris Farlow, which was a very successful record of the day, and I earned it in the early 60s, called Out of Time, which Keith and I wrote. And I used to be a producer, it was fun for me. I was sort of learning the trade, so to speak. And it was all played live, of course. And the backing musicians, one of them was Jimmy Page. He was one of the best, session guitarists at the time. He was very young. There was another one called Jim Sullivan, and they used to play chess in between takes. That was their thing, and so that's how I met Jimmy, and that's how I met John Paul Jones, because he was the bass player, like 1965. This was maybe, and so that I knew Jimmy from then, and I knew John Paul Jones from then, and then 10 years later, or a bit less than 10 years later, they made this very successful kind of band. And I used to go and watch them live. I remember watching their concerts live in New York and everything. I mean, it was a great, thunderous, wonderful racket, and brilliant. And I saw their I saw their last concert as well. And they were absolutely incredible. And I was so disappointed that they didn't actually go out and tour and do it. But that's their business, not mine.
So Jagger, very enthusiastic about Led Zeppelin and extremely positive on Led Zeppelin as a live band, which I think is worthy of comment, considering that there are even diehard Led Zeppelin fans that will say that sometimes, if not often, the band sounds a bit rough live. But here you've got Jagger saying, hey, I saw them live in their heyday, and I saw them live in the reunion show that they played, and they were excellent, and it's unfortunate that they didn't find a way to get back out on the road. So Jagger appears to be a very genuine Led Zeppelin fan and filled with excitement for the band's live performances. I think it's notable that he emphasized Jimmy Page in his opinion of Led Zeppelin, that he framed it by saying that he personally knew Jimmy Page and that he was familiar with John Paul Jones and Page from the session days. And I think that he is saying, by framing his opinion of Led Zeppelin by mentioning his connection to Jimmy Page, he's saying, hey, Led Zeppelin is basically Jimmy Page's band, which of course everybody knows, but I think it's important to point it out in this context because he's basically saying my opinion of Jimmy Page is the same as my opinion of Led Zeppelin, whereas with Keith Richards said he disliked Led Zeppelin as a band, he went out of his way to say that he still respected Jimmy Page as a guitarist. In fact, he said he was one of the best guitarists, even though Led Zeppelin, quote, never really took off. Anyway, my opinion on this is that Jagger has a fan's perspective of the band, whereas those other musicians, Clapton, Townsend, and Keith Richards, have more of a musician or rival musician's perspective on Led Zeppelin. This is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Also, check out the join button that's available now. If you become a channel member, you'll gain access to members-only badges, polls, videos, and other cool content you'll see when you click on the button. You can also help out the channel by clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link, going to the Buy Me a Coffee site, and leaving a donation. Every little bit helps this channel stay strong. Thanks a lot.